Welcome to the Darren Well podcast with Rita Mercer. Hey, have you ever thought, I just want to learn some more self-care to have in my everyday life, but you're not sure where to get started? Well, starting in August, I'll be hosting monthly in-person candle workshops in Cincinnati. So you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with wellness, Rita? Well, I'm glad that you asked. All products that I make for the home, they're all vegan based. So it's a great way to extend wellness into your everyday lifestyle and to learn a new hobby for self-care. You can find more information at daringwell.com, and that's daringwell.com. Have you ever stopped to have a conversation with all the versions of yourself? So your past self, your present self, your future self. Would your past self ask for forgiveness? Would your present self admit that they're flat out exhausted? Would your future self simply say, thank you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or would it wish that you had made different choices? The truth is, every thought, every action or inaction from today is shaping who we're becoming. We can't change the past. What's done is done. It's long past time to stop crying over spilled milk. All we have is this moment right here, right now. What you do today, it matters. What you do today, it matters. Life is full of many, many lessons. Let me share a quick story with you about my window shade in my car. And that's kind of what sparked the idea for today's episode. So one day I was tired, just getting home from work and getting home from the gym, and I was just tired. So for a moment, I thought, hey, let me save a couple minutes and just skip the whole routine of putting the window shade up in the car. My present self, honestly, it just wanted comfort. It just wanted to relax and unwind. I was tired. Again, it had been a long day and I was just ready. I was just ready to go in the house. So can anyone relate? I would love to hear your comments I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So I started having this internal dialogue with my current self about how I just didn't want to do it because I was tired and I just wanted to go in the house. But I knew that my future self would be so happy and grateful that I could get in the car and that it wouldn't be so hot and that it would be a little bit cooler from the sun not beaming in. And yes, I know this sounds like a very silly and a very simple story, but all day, every day, we are all faced with a choice today that will impact our tomorrow. So I get it. Your nervous system is overloaded and you just want to escape the stress of this present moment and not even think about things until tomorrow. I get it. For some, the example of the window shade, it hits home. But for others, maybe it's about delaying the responding to an email. Maybe for others, it's about avoiding a difficult conversation and putting that off until tomorrow. Maybe for others, it's about overspending your vacation budget and justifying it by saying, I deserve it. For some, it might be ignoring your body's need to rest by just staying up and just scrolling social media. For others, it might be refusing to set a healthy boundary out of either guilt or fear. And for others, it might be not taking vitamins and not eating healthy. Geez, there honestly is 1,000,001 ways that we rationalize our present self, which our future self. But no matter how you change the story, my dear, it doesn't change the truth. Only healthy habits move the needle forward, my dear. Only healthy habits move the needle forward. What are you doing today to honor your future self? Or are you so focused on your past mistakes that you feel stuck in this moment? I wonder if you just let go just of a little bit of the guilt. What wisdom does your past self have to offer for you today? Would it remind you that you did the best that you could? Or would it try to shame you and tell you that you didn't do enough or that you're never going to be good enough? Are you so stuck in your past, blaming your past self for all the things that you didn't do right or that didn't go right? Are you stuck in the past self thinking about all the shoulda, woulda, couldas? Are you, with your past self, are you replaying all the what ifs? If this didn't happen, then this thing or that thing, it would be much better. So replaying all the what ifs. So if I had a better life, if I had more money, if I had more time, if I didn't have that heartbreak, if I didn't have that loss, if that person didn't leave, if I didn't lose the job, if only they loved me more. And they could be your family, they could be your past friend, past partner. So if they loved me more. The truth is, all of these ifs, they don't move the needle forward. None of these thought patterns will move the needle forward for you. So stop punishing yourself. These negative stories, they only serve to keep you stuck in this cycle of shame, blame, guilt, and low self-worth. It's time to stop overanalyzing, and it's time to start living. Today's a new day. I want you to give yourself permission to hit the restart button. So if you're feeling too stressed, too overwhelmed, too distracted with all the weight of life, that you can't even offer your current self grace, then today is a new day. Hit the restart button. Actually, let's just take a quick moment to get curious about compassion and find new ways to give our past, our present, and our future self grace. So whether you're listening to this episode on YouTube or any other form of social media, I just got back on Facebook and Instagram, so you can follow me there at Rita, the Mindset Coach. You can also follow me on YouTube at Darren, or wherever you listen to the podcast episode. So if you're listening to the podcast episode on Spotify or Apple, you can shoot me a comment there as well. I'd love to hear from you. Your comment could also help someone else feel more seen and more heard. So I'm going to walk you through just a quick moment to reflect and just meditate. So if you can, so if you're driving, ignore this. I want you to come back to this part of the episode later. But if you're able, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. And I want you just to walk through some of these thoughts, walk through how you're feeling, and allow these words to sink in. So if you're able to, just close your eyes again just for a moment. I want you to tune into the wisdom within. What does grace look like for your future self? I want you to imagine giving yourself, your future self, grace. So if you could imagine your future self, would your future self look more confident, more peaceful, more joyful, more grateful? Would your future self look happier and healthier? What is grace look like to you? What does grace look like to you? To your future self? To me, I feel like it's this ever-evolving thing. In this current season of my life, I feel like grace looks a lot less like shame. I feel like it looks a lot less like blame. I did a lot of that in my early 20s and 30s. and sometimes in my 40s, and even guilt tripping myself into doing things or being something or being someone that wasn't true or wasn't in alignment with who I am or my values. Grace for me looks like being kind and giving myself a second chance. If today's episode is resonating with you and you're ready to stop living on autopilot and start being more intentional and to create the life that you want, I'd love to help you. I'd love to walk alongside you. Through mindset coaching, I help people move past their past self and tap into healing. I help them to deal with their present self and find joy and confidence. And I help them to lean into their future self, to truly embody their authentic self. You can learn more and you can reach out at darrenwell.com, or you can just shoot me an email at info@darrenwell.com. But for me, when I think about grace in this season of my life, grace looks a whole lot like kindness, like compassion, like second chances, like freedom. It feels like freedom. Grace is, it's ever evolving thing. So I would love to hear your definition of what grace is for you. So again, drop it in the comments wherever you're checking in with this episode. Again, if it's on Facebook, Rita the Mindset Coach on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you're on YouTube, it's at Darren Well. But yeah, I would love for you to take a moment to reflect. What is grace? What does grace look like for your present self? But what does grace look like for your future self? And how can you give that more to yourself in this moment to honor your future self? As we start to wrap up today, I want you to take a moment to just check in with your past self, your present self, and your future self. What can you do today to honor, to love on your future self? How can I send some special love to my future self? By the actions that I'm doing today, by the words that I say, by how I choose to show up differently. So sometimes now when I'm doing something, I'll have this conversation with myself and just say, thank you, future self, for taking care of that for me. Thank you, future self, for doing the dishes last night. Thank you, future self, for doing meal prep. Thank you, future self, for hitting the gym when I know you didn't want to. Thank you, future self, for setting healthy boundaries so that you could have more freedom and more time and protecting your peace and energy. What do you need to thank your future self for? And so thanking your future self, that's something that I've been doing a lot lately. Thank you, future self. So for some to lean into their future self, it means having the courage to start something new. For others, there might be starting a business, starting a book, starting a new job or a new role, starting a family. Is there something that you need to let go of? So maybe it's letting go of unhealthy habits, unhealthy relationships. Do you need to start a new healthy habit? What do you need to do today that your future self is going to say thank you? What do you need to do today so that your future self is going to say thank you? And I want you to challenge to show up for yourself every day and to thank your future self. Thank you, future self. So again, if you need help with any of these mindset strategies to lean into your past, your present, or your future self, connect with me for mindset coaching. And you can connect with me at info@darrenwell.com to get the next steps. All right, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining the Darren Well podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend and to leave a review wherever you're hearing this episode. Your support helps me to spread this message of self-love and wellness throughout the world. Until next time, keep living, keep loving, and keep daring well. Take care, my dear. God bless. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of the Daring Well podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to continue exploring the world of holistic wellness, be sure to subscribe to the Daring Well podcast so you never miss an episode filled with transformative conversations and actionable advice. Thank you again for being part of the Daring Well podcast community. Together, let's dare to live well in mind, body, and spirit.